Hello, hello, hello. Hi. How is everybody? I know, right? Like, why is it not this cool in the whole place? Like, I feel like I've lost so much weight just sweating. How are you guys doing? Y'all having fun at Blerdcon?
Testing.
You're good. Good. Okay. I know. You know what? The times got all mixed up, so I apologize for the wait. I'm here, and I'm ready to answer any questions you might have. Where are you guys from? DC, Virginia, Maryland? Okay, I'll give a prize to whoever is the furthest. Cali? Okay, who's further than Cali? I need to see your ID. Okay, I think Cali has it. Is there anyone further than Cali? Anyone? Okay, come to my table after. I'll give you a surprise. Any of you guys got questions? For those of you who don't know, I'm Karen Ashley. I was Aisha, the Yellow Power Ranger. Thank you. I was on Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I did season 2, 3, and the movie. Yeah, the real movie. Yeah, I was the one who kicked Ivanus in the you know what. I got no credit for that. I saved the world. The last movie I was in just a couple months ago, I shot one. Yes. I'm still working. It's funny. I've done a million things since Power Rangers, but when we come to Comic-Con, the only thing people want to talk about is Power Rangers. That's it, and that's okay. That's okay. I get it, you know? Things that people love when they were a kid. It's just so nostalgic. And Power Rangers was this crazy thing that we did, and we thought, like, man, we'll do it, and it'll be a stepping stone, and, 10 years from now, nobody will know about it. And it's been 27 years, and you guys love it. I've got 3 new action figures coming out this year, which is so weird. It's like, it never ends. I said, we're like roaches. We just keep coming out. Power Rangers is never ending. Yes, sir. You have a question? Yeah, you might want to use the mic. I just shot a film. I can't really talk about it now until it's released to the public. I did a movie I produced called Devin's Ghost. I did a movie. Yeah, thank you. I did a movie called Unto Thee. I've done a lot of TV, a lot of children's television, a lot of regular television, a lot of sitcoms. But yeah, I mean, you just keep working. When you're an actress, I always tell people, if you really want to be an actor, you keep working and you just keep having fun. Anybody have questions? Yes, please. I can talk for 30 minutes, but I prefer to answer questions. All right, What's your name? Where are you from?
I'm Troy. I'm from Mississippi, but I live in D.C.
Nice.
I actually have 2 questions. So
yes.
I was trying to think of a question I could ask you that you probably don't get asked a bunch of times.
I know.
So this is what I came up with.
Okay.
Have you ever had anybody who recognizes you from Power Rangers, but they're like kind of a jerk and try to like pick a fight with you?
No. I'm luckily, it's been nothing but love. I've had people recognize me from Power Rangers and like ask me out on a date. And I'm like, was this your dream when you were 5 years old? It's weird. It gets weird. We get love. Like, honestly, I hear these stories from people because I do a million Comic-Cons, and I hear these stories about crazy fans and this and that and all this stuff. And we get literally, people walk up to our table and you guys become 7 years old again. And you're just like a kid, and we get nothing but love, man. So I'm so lucky we don't have any stories like that.
That's good to know.
They don't ever want to fight us.
Was that a question you haven't been asked?
I don't know. I'm sure there are thousands of questions I haven't been asked, but right. I usually get you're right, I get the same 10 questions every show.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Hello. What's your name and where are you from?
I'm Tim from Alexandria.
Nice to meet you.
And I got a 2-part question.
Okay.
What was it like taking over for the late Tree Twang? And the JDF situation in Phoenix that happened a few years ago. What was your reaction to that?
Oh gosh. Okay. Well, first part. it was an honor to take over for her. I didn't know when we were auditioning, we had no clue that we were replacing people. We thought we were joining the cast because that's kind of how they presented it. But it was wonderful. I mean, obviously she was an amazing actress, huge shoes to fill. Like literally wore her costume, wore the same boots. Everything. But she was the sweetest person. And I felt honored to do it. I was obviously nervous, but I think the excitement of me like fulfilling my dream of being on a television show and getting to do a movie, like all of that took over. So all that fear kind of went away. And luckily they did a really good job of writing us into the story so that you kids were, you guys loved it, and you kind of embraced us. But no, I met her once and she was just an amazing human, super sweet. Everything I've ever heard about her has been amazing. And obviously, 10 years later when we found out she'd passed away, it was shocking. She's definitely, I always say she's with us because I don't care where I am, what country I'm in, whatever. I mean, I've traveled the world doing Comic-Cons and every weekend we talk about her. So I know she's here and I know she appreciates all the love. So, and then, the thing that happened with JDF, I mean, that was horrific. I remember we saw him probably like a month after. And we were in Europe when that happened. So we were kind of like, we heard about it, but we were doing a show in Europe. So we didn't know. But when we got back, we saw him and he was showing us pictures. And for those of you who don't know, a couple years ago, I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago, a guy went to Phoenix Comic-Con, like fully loaded with guns, knives. I mean, it was going to be a situation. And thankfully, he had said something to a friend and kind of eluded that he was going to do something, and they caught him. And luckily, Jason wasn't at his table because the guide went to his table and he wasn't there. And thankfully, Phoenix Comic-Con, the security when she called the police, they believed her and they went in and they caught the guy, and it was just horrific. But yeah, hold on, there's a line, baby. Yeah. I mean, horrific. I don't even want to think about it. Yeah. Thank you. What's your name? Where are you from?
Marvin from Beltsville, Maryland. How's it going?
Hi, Marvin. I remember you from earlier.
Of course. I wanted to ask another question, but I was trying to be careful how to approach it the right way because you did answer it correctly and I respect it.
Yeah.
So when you did the movie, though, in a way, except for Tommy the White Ranger, how come they didn't use the weapons in that too? Because I would have thought they would have had the opportunity for it.
Yeah. You know what's funny is we shot so much stuff, and like my character had the light beams, and we had I think my character had had daggers, but they were these different daggers. Every character had something really cool, and only 2 of them made the movie. It was just one of those things. For some reason, it didn't make the cut, and I don't know why. It wasn't anything that anyone, I think, said, we're not going to include the weapons. But it's just one of those things. At the time, in the 90s, Power Rangers was getting this label of being a violent show, which we didn't ever think we were, but some kids would see the show and they'd get excited and they fight each other, and so we started doing, PSAs and just telling them, look, we fight aliens. We don't fight each other. We're friends. And, and we would do all that we could. But I know for a fact that there were decisions made to make it less violent, less, towards the end of season 3, we weren't even doing civilian fights anymore because they were just we just can't see them fight as themselves. Even though that was one of the most popular parts of the show is when we fought as ourselves. So, but it was more important to make sure that we were a responsible show. So.
It's just for the record, though, in a way, a few weeks ago, I was watching a video on YouTube, and they had the top 10 weapons of Power Rangers. Well, half of them were mostly in groups, but the only ones that were separate was the Flute Dagger, Saba the Talking Saber.
Yeah, Saba was very popular.
The Gold Ranger staff in a way, but everybody else was mostly in groups, a
lot of it too, I'll say this, I didn't think about this earlier when we were talking, but a lot of it depended on the Japanese footage. Even by season 2, they had started running out of the footage, the stock footage. And for those of you who don't know, like half the show was us fighting ourselves, and then the other half they would use stock footage. Well, once we ran out, then they shot it all in America. It was all shot with the American and Japanese stunt team that we had in America. And so a lot of it had to do with that. Like whatever was established in Japan is what we would do in America. So if they didn't show it a lot, we didn't do it a lot. Or sometimes they would show it a lot and they just wouldn't use it. I don't know. I don't know who made those decisions, but you're right. We had some really cool stuff. I remember when we finally saw the finished cut of the movie, we were super happy with how it turned out, but we were disappointed that a lot of the things that each person had, because it was really cool. Each person had something individual that added to our power. So it wasn't just like, oh, you know, we each had something special. And it was weird that they didn't use that stuff. So Hollywood.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hello, what's your name and where are you from?
Hi, I'm Win. I came here from the Bay Area.
Oh, you're the one I owe something to.
We can talk about that.
I owe you again.
So with all the work that you've been doing, as far as acting, being in series, being in movies, and then coming out, doing these cons, doing interviews and all that kind of stuff, what do you do to deal with kind of like the burnout feeling of like having done this for a really long time and feeling like and again pushing through it to keep on going? Like what leads you to move through all of that? What allows you to do that?
What was the last part?
What allows you to keep moving forward like that?
You know what? I never thought I would be burnt out doing cons. Like I love doing it. I mean, the traveling is taxing, but even that, I love going to the different cities and I love just like, it's almost like a family reunion. We all get together and we do a lot of shows with each other. And then when COVID hit, we all had a year off because all the shows were canceled. Like we literally were, one day we were booked and then the next day, everything. I mean, it was like 15 shows canceled all in a week. And it ended up being like a year that I was like, it was a break that I needed that I didn't know I needed. I actually really enjoyed being home and just like not traveling and, that kind of thing. But what motivates us to do this stuff is that we get to meet all of you. You know, it's one thing like being on a show 27 years ago. And when we would meet fans, you guys were little and you would either cry, you would either hide behind your parents, or we'd get every now and then there would be one and you guys would be like little Barbara Walters. Like you would ask us 1,000 questions. It was cute. But now that you're older, it's like we get to relive what we did and like things that I don't even remember you guys will bring up. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot we did that. Like, so it's like a whole new appreciation for the show. And I always say, you know, doing cons and meeting the fans, you guys really made me fall in love with it again, you know, cause I had long left it and did other projects and have been doing my thing. But now it's like every weekend I get to become a Power Ranger again. And I mean, hey, you can't beat that. Very cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Oh, you just...
Yeah, what's your name? Where are you from?
Alex, I'm from Alexandria, VA.
Nice.
I kind of got a serious question. Do you know what the motive was of the person who's going to do that terrible thing?
Oh, I have no idea. I know that guy is in jail. And yeah, I think he had some mental problems. Like from what I understand, he had some mental, psychological problems, but I have no idea. I don't know. The only thing I know is like the stuff Jason told us and the stuff we read in the paper, like you guys.
I see. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to think any other questions I have. I'm just thinking.
Yeah, you don't have to. You can have a seat, and if you think of something else, you can get back up.
All right.
Yes, thank you. No pressure. If you think of other questions. Hi, gorgeous.
Hi.
Gosh, let's give her a hand. Look at this costume. I love it. You look beautiful.
Thank you so much.
I love it.
I'm Jordan from DC. I was just wondering, I see a lot of Power Rangers / Super Sentai knockoffs and reboots. My favorite being tattooed teenage alien fighters from Beverly Hills.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on certain reboots and
like the fan films and all that? Oh my God, I love it. Like some of them have been so amazing. I always, when I meet these filmmakers who are doing these fan films, I'm like, guys, like, that's how you become a filmmaker. You got to just start with something you love, something you're passionate about. And I even encourage them. I'm like, okay, Power Rangers, they're doing that. They produce that. Now create your own series. But no, they're so creative. They're so amazing. I really enjoy them. I tell them all the time, tag me. I'd love to see it. But no, I mean, it's like future filmmakers right there. I wish we had that when we were in the 90s. Like we would have been making movies there would have been a movie inside the movie. But we didn't have that then. But now, I mean, gosh, it's amazing. And I love that they love the show so much. And they spend all this time recreating different scenarios and different stories. Sometimes you guys tell better stories than they did back in the day. Like, I'm like, some of those stories, I mean, you can find some holes in the plots, but
Future
you guys
writers
have
and
thought about
filmmakers.
it more. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hello.
How you doing? My name is Caleb from Texas. I go by K-Dog.
Yes, Texas?
Yes.
I'm from Texas. What part?
Oh, San Antonio.
San Antonio, nice. I'm originally from Odessa, Texas. Grew up in Dallas.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
great.
I auditioned in Texas when I got the part for Power Rangers.
Oh, that kind of leads up to my question. Before you took that role, did you have experience with martial arts or gymnastics or anything like that? Or is that something that you trained once you got that role?
When we auditioned, you had to be a dancer, martial artist, or a gymnast, and I was a dancer. And then on set, I learned how to do martial arts. And it's very similar to dancing when you do it on TV. It's like learning choreography. So thankfully, I had that experience. But no, I was a dancer. Before Power Rangers, I was in a singing group called Crush. And we were signed to A&M Records. And I was doing that. And then I had started to audition while I was in the group. And I had auditioned for Sister Act 2. I didn't get the part. But I knew in that moment, I was like, I'm going to be an actress. I'm going to be an actress. This singing stuff is cool, but this is like, I'm feeling something different. And so when I went, I remember reading and I was like nervous because I show up to the audition and I mean, people are lined up in their karate gis and people knew all about the show. And I had literally, like 2 months prior, I had just graduated high school. So I didn't know anything about Power Rangers. And I was like, oh my God, what did I get myself into? How am I going to do this? And luckily, there were like thousands of people there to audition. And this guy was ahead of me. I wish I would have like kept his name, but he literally told me everything about the show while we were standing in the line for a couple hours. So when I went in there, I knew Kimberly was my best friend. I knew all these things. And so I went in there and I was like, teenager with an attitude. That's me. That's really me. And luckily, my kicks were high enough and my punches were strong enough. So there you have it.
Hey, thank you.
You're welcome. Hi.
Hi, I'm
How are
Tyler.
you?
I'm from the DC area. I was just wondering if there was any episode that was in particularly fun to film or any that was like a nightmare to film.
The fun one to film was the Wild Wild West episode. Like, I don't know why we just got a kick out of being other people. Like, we never got to like be other characters other than ourselves or, a variation of ourselves. So to be like our ancestors, we were just, I don't know why we had so much joy in that episode. And I remember we had to learn how to ride horses and we had like these like we had to go and just like have rehearsal. I mean, it was just the funnest thing to film. The worst one to film was probably my first episode. Because in that episode, we were in a triathlon. And so we had to bike, we had to run, we had to swim. And I mean, I had to swim. And I was like, so is there like a stunt double that's going to run into that lake and like swim for me? And they were like, no, you're going to do it. And I go, if I get my hair wet, we're done. Like it's going to take them an hour to re-straighten it. They did not believe me. And they learned a hard lesson that day. And we started talking braids very soon after. But yeah, it was like, that one was, because at first I was like thinking, like, I remember we were in a triathlon. We were ninjas. I had a snake on my lap. I was like, are they trying to kill us? Like, we were to do all these things. Like, we were riding a bike. I like cut my leg because we had to like just run and like jump on this bike. And I'm super short. And so a normal bike is too tall for me. Like, I was like, can I get a kid's bike? Like something. And it was just all bad. And I was like, I think they want to kill us. Like, they're initiating us to become Power Rangers. It's crazy. So it wasn't the worst, but it was pretty bad. I was like, is this what every episode is like? It was too much.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes.
So there's something else. How long did it take you to learn the martial arts?
The martial arts, you know what? It didn't take me long at all. The cool thing about when you shoot on a TV show, like the Japanese stunt team, they were amazing. And you would shoot it in segments. So it wasn't like, okay, you're going to shoot a 10-minute fight, like what you would see on TV. They would say, okay, we're going to do this one section. So it'd be like kick, punch. And so we would kick, punch, and then they'd move the camera. And they were like, okay, now this time you're going to get hit. You roll on the ground. And so you get hit, you roll on the ground. So when you're shooting it in small segments, it's so much easier because then you just have to hit that one portion and then you hit the next portion.
Oh, you don't do it all on the same day.
No, you don't have to do the whole fight in one swoop. You just do it in segments.
Some movies have done that, right? The whole thing in one day.
Yeah, some people do it that way, but our team, because we moved so fast, we never had rehearsals. So what they would do is we'd come on set and they'd go over there, you got 20 minutes, learn the fight. And so we would just kind of learn it enough so that we could do the segments. And so you learn it, and then we shot it. Like you remember the show would come on every day? So, we were working here, and the stunt team was working there, and everybody was just like trying to get these episodes shot so fast. So, but luckily, they did it that way so we could move fast. And for someone like me who wasn't a martial artist, it really helped me kind of get it, look good, and feel confident about it, because there is a little bit of like, oh God, some of the cast members, they'd been doing martial arts since they were little.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
and I was like, I don't want to be the one that looks like she doesn't know how to do it, but they made me look real good.
So did it take you like a few months or a month?
No, in a day.
And in one day?
In one day. They would say, go over there and learn the fight. And I was like so nervous, and I learned the fight, and then they shot it, and they were like, don't worry, we're going to do it in segments. So we would do it, and when I saw it, I was like, "Oh my God! I look like I know what I'm doing." And so at that point, it was amazing. So yeah, you learn it quick when you're on TV. Quick.
Oh, it's different than when you do it for real, like.
Yeah, it's different. If you're in a karate class, you're gonna get time to learn, and you're gonna do technique properly. But when you're on TV, they're experts. They know how to shoot you so that you look better than you are. And you do it quick. It's always like, time is money.
Oh, I see.
Thank you, though. Good question. Good question.
Hello. I hope you don't mind me videoing.
It's okay.
Hi, my name is Joseph. I'm from Manassas. And I'm a father of a few kids. And, well, my daughters, I have two daughters. One is an aspiring singer. One wants to be a YouTuber. What advice would you give as for girls of color in the industry?
Well, you know what? First thing is you can do anything. I always tell people I'm a little girl from Odessa, Texas. Most people have never even heard of that place. And I grew up to be on the biggest kid show in the world, not even in America, in the world. So first of all, just know you can do anything. But what it takes is hard work and practice. Like from the age of 12, started working professionally, and I would rehearse and this. It would be me practicing in the mirror, me being in my school play, me, creating my own skits with my friends. I was just one of those kids I knew from a very young age of what I wanted to do. And I worked on it every single day, somehow, some way. And I didn't come from a lot of money, so I didn't have like fancy acting classes or anything like that. But I was able to get practice at school, and I'd be in theater, and I'd be in choir, and anything I could be in, I was in. If it was like, I remember there was a speech class, and I was like, what is that? And they were like, you have to say speeches in front of the school. And I was like, I'm in speech. And it was just an opportunity for me to public speak. Like, I just wanted to be, I don't know, I had that in me where I wanted to perform. So I always tell people just do any and everything you can, and one day you're going to get an audition. One day you're going to get an opportunity, and all that practice and all that rehearsal leads to that one day.
Outstanding. Thank you.
You're welcome. I think this is the last question.
How did you balance studies and your acting career? Like, I'm not like, did you like, go to? I'm just wondering. And did you like how did you balance it? Because it seems like it's a lot when you're a child star. So I'm just.
Oh yeah, it was a lot. Luckily, by the time I got on Power Rangers, I had graduated high school. I was enrolled to go to college, but I got Power Rangers, and they basically said, you're going to be in LA for a month, and then we're going to ship you guys to Australia, and you're going to shoot a movie. You'll be there from anywhere from 3 to 6 months, and then you're going to come back, and we're going to go back right back into the TV show. And like literally for a year and a half, I worked nonstop, and I probably had a month off collectively throughout that whole year and a half. Like we worked 6 days a week. I mean, it was nonstop. I mean, we'd go into work, it'd be dark outside. We'd get off of work, it was dark outside. So it was like a big blur. But you know what? I just did what I could. And then once I got done with Power Rangers and started working on other projects and other TV shows, then I was able to do other things and, go to college and do different stuff. But
what time did you have to get up in the morning for like when you work? Like, did you have to get up
you'd be on set at 5 a.m.
Whoa.
Yeah, the girls, usually we were on set at 5 a.m. So that means you got up at 4 and you were at, out the door by 4:30, on set by 5 a.m. And you'd get done filming and then you'd have to go do voiceover or do, it was like, we literally work from sun up to sundown every day.
Oh, every
It's a
day.
very hard, I always tell people, like, being an actor seems glamorous, but it's actually a very taxing job. You are on set. It's easily 12-hour days, 15-hour days. That's just how it is. So, and you don't, like, if you get sick, you don't get to call in sick. You got to go to work. You just got to push through.
unless I guess if you need something that you can't.
Well, yeah. But it's very rare. I remember many days where we got the flu and we'd all be like laying on, like we got sick like once during the movie, and literally we would all just be laying there like taking a nap on set, and then they would say action and we'd get up and they pat our faces and we were like nothing was wrong, and then the minute they said cut we would lay back down. And you just keep going, but when you're doing something you love, I always say you'll never work a day in your life. Even the hard days will still be fun.
So you just get one day off when you're an actress.
Normally you get your weekends off, but when we were doing the films and when you do certain acting roles, you may not get any days off. So
because you have to do homework, you have to go over your roles and stuff.
Yeah. But thank you so much. Great question, man. Well, guys, I'm right across out this door, right across over there. If I didn't get to answer your question, come by and say hi. I've got plenty of autographs, merchandise, but even if you're not buying anything, I still want to meet all of you. Please come and say hi. And the gentleman who won the prize, make sure you come by. There you are. I was like, I can't see. Oh, there you are. So come by. Guys, you know what time it is. It's morphin' time. Look at it. Black Ranger's in the house. He looks amazing. Thank you.
Like when they hit it like dope, got a real hot box, but don't smoke. Hot girl, but I'm still